You know, in the ancient Chinese calendar, winter isn't just a season, it's a strategy. So today, we're going to dive into the solar term known as major snow. We're going to uncover how this is so much more than just weather. It's this incredible guide to storing up our energy so we can absolutely flourish when spring finally rolls around. In this old proverb, it just nails the whole mindset. See, winter isn't viewed as a time of death, but as this necessary, vital period of rest. That thick blanket of snow actually protects the soil, it kills off pests, and it locks in moisture for the spring. All of that promises a huge harvest later on. It's all about strategic preparation. All right, first up, major snow, winter's prelude. Let's get right into what the solar term is all about and how nature itself tells us it has arrived. Okay, so the name major snow can be a little misleading. It doesn't automatically mean a massive blizzard is on the way. What it really means is that the potential for snow is shooting way up as temperatures take a dive. It's like nature's way of saying, okay, winter's getting serious now. You know, the ancient Chinese were just incredible observers of nature. They broke this period down into 3 5-day chunks, or pentads, and each one had its own special sign. And the way it progresses is just fascinating. It kicks off with this deep silence, as even the cold weather birds stop singing. Then you get this powerful surge of life as tigers begin to mate. And finally, there's this super subtle hint of future growth, as a special plant starts to sprout just beneath the surface. It just goes to show you, even in the deepest, coldest part of the year, life is still stirring. So that's what's happening out in nature. But how did people adapt to these rhythms? Well, let's take a look at their traditions, and not surprisingly, a lot of them revolved around food. This saying right here, it's basically a winter survival guide. The cold, dry air during major snow creates the perfect natural refrigerator for preserving food. Families would be busy curing pork, fish, sausages, you name it. They were stocking up for the long winter ahead, and, just as important, for those huge feasts during the Lunar New Year. Now this is where it gets really interesting, because winter nourishment, or jinbu, is not a one-size-fits-all deal. In the much colder north, the focus is on heavy-duty meats like mutton to fight that external cold. But down in the more humid south, they prefer herbal soups made with things like ginger and rice wine to warm you up from the inside out. But the goal? Totally the same. Build up that internal heat. And it was about way more than just the main traditions. There's this whole rich tapestry of other customs. Like in Taiwan, major snow is the absolute peak season for harvesting mullet, and its roe is so valuable they call it black gold. For the more scholarly types, it was a time for quiet reflection. You know, watching the snowfall while admiring the tough little plum blossoms. And for so many others, comfort came in a simple warm bowl of sweet potato porridge. Okay, so we've talked about what the community does. Now let's zoom in on personal health. The principles here are so simple but really profound. Everything, and I mean everything, boils down to these two ideas. The first one is kung, which means to hide or to store. The idea is that in winter you should conserve your energy, your essence, just like a seed lying dormant in the ground. The second one is wen, which means warmth. You have to protect your body's internal fire, your yang energy, from the cold that's trying to get in. Hiding and warming. That's the entire playbook for winter. So you're probably wondering, how do I actually eat for hiding and warming? Well, it's pretty logical. First up, you need foods that actively warm your core, like lamb and ginger. Then you've got nourishing foods, like black beans and walnuts that support your kidneys and spleen. Think of them as your body's battery packs in Chinese medicine. And finally, you balance all that richness with seasonal veggies like cabbage and radish to keep your immune system strong. And keeping warm isn't just about throwing on a big coat. It's targeted. It's a science, really. Focusing on 4 key spots. First, your head and neck. Wear a hat and scarf because cold can get in easily there. Second, your back, which protects a major energy channel. Third, your abdomen, to guard your vital organs. And last but not least, your feet. You know that old saying, cold enters from the feet? They weren't kidding. Warm socks are an absolute must. You see, hiding isn't just about what you eat or wear. It's a whole shift in your lifestyle. It means following the sun, going to bed a bit earlier, and getting up a little later. It means swapping those intense, sweaty workouts for gentle movements like walking or tai chi that circulate your energy without draining it. And crucially, you've got to conserve your emotional energy. Winter is a time for quiet reflection, not for intense emotional swings. Okay, this ancient wisdom is amazing, right? But what does it actually mean for us today, in our crazy 24/7 lives? Let's break it down and make it actionable.
I mean, this really is the big question, isn't it? In a world that's constantly telling us to go full speed all year round, this seasonal wisdom asks us to just pause, to listen to our body's need to slow down. It's a really powerful counter-narrative to modern hustle culture.
And honestly, this might be the single most important lesson for us today. We're so obsessed with supplements and biohacking, but this ancient wisdom reminds us that the most powerful form of nourishment is simply getting enough rest. Honoring winter's call to sleep more is way more effective at restoring your energy than any expensive pill you can buy.
Want a super simple, practical tip you can start using tonight? Here it is. Soak your feet in warm water. We're talking around 40 degrees Celsius or 104 Fahrenheit for about 15 to 20 minutes before you go to bed. It sounds so simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. It helps draw energy downwards, it calms your mind, and it massively improves your circulation, helping you get to sleep faster and sleep deeper. Really, this ancient wisdom gives us a fantastic framework for preventative health, and it's all about one thing: balance. It reminds us to balance the temperature by avoiding those sudden shocks from going outside to inside, which can be tough on the heart. It tells us to balance our environment, keep the air fresh but stay out of cold drafts. And, of course, to balance our diet, enjoying those wonderful warming foods without overdoing it. So, that brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. Major snow teaches us that winter isn't a time to just grit your teeth and push through. It's a time to strategically retreat, to recharge. It's a season for hiding your energy so that you can come back stronger than ever in the spring. So how are you going to practice that art of hiding this year? Thanks for joining me.